but I also wanted to do the Oliver Anthony thing. Let's do the Oliver Anthony thing. I can save this for another day. We might have time for both. So Oliver Anthony, do you know who Oliver Anthony is? Do you remember? We talked about him. He did that song, Men North of Richmond. And now I have a radio edit of this song. What I would like to do now, Oliver Anthony, he kind of became famous sort of overnight. Because what happened is a lot of right-wing podcast and online media personalities like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, the whole Daily Wire crew and whatnot, they really got behind this song. So, and really kind of championed this song. And a lot of conservatives love the song. Now there's some backlash, though, at Oliver Anthony because he didn't like that. He says he didn't like that the song was actually featured at the Republican debate because he said, wait a minute, those people on that debate stage, they're some of the same people I'm talking about.
Exactly.
This has nothing to do with party. My song isn't about a particular political party. I'm talking about everybody in Washington, both Republicans and Democrats. So now he's getting some backlash from some of the conservatives who supported him. But what I would like to do, I have not listened to this song all the way through. Now, regular listeners might recall a number of weeks ago, there was a big controversy around the song Try That in a Small Town by Jason Aldean. And I intentionally avoided listening to that song because I wanted to play it on the show and give you my live, in the moment, unvarnished, if you will, reaction to it and get feedback from the audience and get your thoughts and whatnot. And luckily, though, DJ Steve was in the Facebook live chat that day and said, hey, Matt, heads up. You'll want the radio edit because Jason Aldean actually says the S word in the song. So I had to find the radio edit. This song also has the S word in it, but there is a radio edit available. So I have not. Now, I've heard more of this song than I had heard of the Jason Aldean song before I played it on the show. But I've avoided listening to this song all the way through for the same reason. I'm going to play the song all the way through, the radio edit, of course, right here, live on the air, and give you my reaction to it and get your reaction. And, of course, anybody in the audience who wants to react or has any thoughts on it. I've heard only the very beginning of the song. I have heard a tiny bit of it. I had to hear enough of it to make sure it was a legitimate radio edit. Fortunately, the first S-bomb is very early in the song. So I didn't have to get very far in the song to hear, okay, they did the reversal on that to make the swear go away. Good. So this is a legitimate radio edit. So you haven't heard the song, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm going to play it right now, the radio edit of Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. And I'll tell you what I think. Well, that's it. I'll tell you what I think, and we'll hear what you all think. Here we go.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't this shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in a new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't this and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullish pay.
What do you think?
It was the first time for me listening into it all the way through.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I have actually looked up some stuff about this guy. I can see what he's saying. There's some stuff in there that I think is kind of uncomfortable for me, because he's doing like some fat shaming in there that I'm not so great about.
There's some right-wing tropes.
However, that being said, when I'm reading this man and what he is saying, he's saying that it's the rich who hurt the poor. And I'm sorry, that's true. That's very true. The elitists never have to worry about their health care. The elitists don't worry about food on their table. And yeah, they'll pay as craptastic as they can for a salary to make sure that they keep cottoning those dollars.
Yeah.
They got to pay for those little yachts. They got to pay for those stylish clothes. They could give two craps about the rest of us, as long as their coffers are getting full. So in the vein of what he intended for it, I cannot disagree with this man.
I think that,
and I can support what he's saying.
One thing I
to
don't,
an extent, to an extent.
Yeah, one thing I cannot support is he kind of, at one point, and it's with the fat shaming comment. He sort of it almost, and part of my thinking about this might be a little bit tainted by some of what I was reading and hearing about the song before actually listening to it. But he sounds like he kind of takes a swipe at people who are on welfare, and
right.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, but he sounds like he's doing it more combined with fat shaming. Like he doesn't do the old Ronald Reagan welfare queen nonsense. So.
Right, and that's what I was saying. That's the part of the song that I have the discomfort with.
Yeah.
If I take a broad view of what he's singing about, well, he's singing about a lot of the same stuff that I've been talking about from podiums for the last few months about how we get cut off in our health care. People are poor because they're poor because they can only afford their medicines. After that, they're broke. They're made medically poor. How many people have bankruptcies, lose their houses because of medicine? Just from that one perspective, to me, if I look at it in that vein, I 100% agree with the guy. But I mean, there's a lot of what he says that's absolutely true. And especially, I got to say, in some southern areas. When I was in Kentucky, the world was very different. And I'm sure that it still is from the north. You know, maybe it's a different world. The pay scales are different. I worked in a sweatshop sewing factory. We got told we weren't getting paychecks because the fax machine messed up the numbers, because 90% of the people in that room didn't know how a fax machine worked, what it did, and never even saw one. I saw a lot of slimy stuff in Kentucky that would never get pulled off here.
Yeah.
But they get away with it in the backwood there. At least they did when I was there. I'm speaking from my own personal experience.
Right.
I don't know what that world is like now. Maybe because we're all connected now with computers, maybe it's become different.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I filled out a job application that literally asked me if I was married and if I had children, how many. It wanted my height. It wanted my weight. This was a gas station job.
So I remember what I said about the Jason Aldean song when I played that live on the air. I said taking the video out of it, just the song itself. And there, by the way, there is no video for the. Well, no, actually, I think there is a video for this song,
but it's just him playing.
It's just him playing. But the Jason Aldean song, of course, has this whole big produced video, and there's controversy about the video. But the song itself, what I said about the song itself, because people were saying it was racist and whatnot, I said this song, taken by itself, I don't believe is racist, but I can see why, if you are racist, you would like this song. I would say about this song, Men North of Richmond, if you are I don't think the song is promoting a particular ideology. And apparently, from what Oliver Anthony is saying, that was absolutely not his intention. However, I can see why conservatives, why some the Daily Wire crew, like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and all of them, I can see why they got behind the song, because there's some, it's kind of a populist. It's become sort of this populist anthem, and there's different kinds of populism, and it's kind of a right-leaning sounding populism. So I can see why they got behind the song, but there's a couple of interesting controversies that actually have come out. So one is what I said. He was upset that the song was used during that debate. And by the way, for anyone who says, because I know some people are saying, well, then why did he approve it? He probably didn't.
They never usually do.
Well, here's the thing, though, because some people say, well, wouldn't he have had to have at least given his approval for them to use the song? But here's the thing. Well, yeah, there is a bit of a history of people using songs in political campaigns without approval.
Absolutely.
But the other thing is, this guy got very famous very fast.
And very rich.
Well, I don't know if he's rich.
I'm looking at his numbers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah.
But he got very famous very fast, and he probably, I'm sure he has a team already that had to be hastily put together, who he probably has a management team who said, well, of course you can use the song. And it wasn't necessarily his decision. But so that's one controversy. So now he's coming out and saying, no, they're part of the problem. They're the people I'm singing about. It's not just about one party. But the other controversy is now he's also being accused of faking his accent because of a video of an interview that he did where he talks about diversity. This is what's got the Daily Wire crew all upset. He talks about diversity, and he talks about how diversity is a strength, and it's one of the things that is great about America, and we should celebrate diversity. Well, not everyone at the Daily Wire is on board with that message, as you might imagine. Not everyone's a fan of this diversity of which he speaks. Now, some people are also saying to him, I've seen online people saying, well, this guy clearly got used. I actually saw it might have even been on this because I got this radio edit from YouTube. It might even be on here. Somebody said, you got used, dude, saying that he got used by the Daily Wire and these other online conservatives who made this song their anthem. And now they're mad at him because they feel betrayed by him because he's not really with them. He's not with any particular party. But I think it's possible. And again, I say this from a little bit of a different perspective than most people probably have because of I come from a music industry background. I think it's possible that this guy used the system to get himself famous. And if I'm right, if this was intentional on his part, bravo, well played, because this guy, no matter who likes a song or who doesn't, and whatever backlash he's facing, this guy, not only did he get famous almost overnight with this song, but he's figured out how to keep his name in the news with all the backlash. I mean, it's fantastic. If it did all happen by accident, that's great too. But that's impressive. I mean, this is all, I'm amazed. And here, this is from Newsweek, by the way.
He's supposedly making $40,000 a day on this.
Oh, could be. Yeah. I mean, it's a viral sensation.
Certainly is.
This is from Newsweek. Oliver Anthony's meteoric rise to fame in the country music world has come with increased scrutiny, this time focusing on his accent. Last month, Anthony was an unknown country music hopeful, but thanks to an endorsement from controversial podcaster Joe Rogan, I didn't even realize it started with Joe Rogan, he went viral overnight with his hit song, Rich Men North of Richmond. A video of him singing the song was uploaded to YouTube on August 7 and has received 34 million views with more than 130,000 comments at the time of the writing. It won praise from many well-known conservatives for highlighting topics such as QAnon and Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't catch a QAnon reference in there. I did catch the Jeffrey Epstein reference. He talks about minors on an island. The song also takes aim at taxation, welfare cheats, obesity, and makes reference to sex trafficking. Well, that's the Jeffrey Epstein part. Republican politician Marjorie Taylor Greene even dubbed the song the anthem of forgotten Americans. But his newfound fans have already started to turn on the singer after comments he made during a Fox interview. Anthony described blue-collar workers as, quote, the melting pot of the world, unquote, and championed diversity, saying, quote, that's what makes us strong. We need to learn to harness that and appreciate it and not use it as a political tool to keep everyone separate from each other, unquote, he said, which earned the wrath of some conservatives on Twitter.
Why is he talking about diversity?
And that's not even, that's so, it's weird how that's pretty mild stuff.
There's a,
you would think he said, by the way, I love Black Lives Matter. And, all he said was,
diversity is cool.
We're the melting pot of the world and we should celebrate that. That's
right?
Pretty mild.
I'm looking at some of the comments that are being made. So, told you this guy was a plant. Yeah. Promoting what is this? Promoted algorithm boosted based red bearded hillbilly song guy was faking his accent and says diversity is our strength. Why is he saying diversity?
It says here, there's more from Newsweek. It says, now his detractors have claimed the Farmville, Virginia native has been faking his accent and pointed to the Fox News interview with Griff Jenkins as proof. They claimed his accent was not Southern, even though his singing style would suggest otherwise.
He grew up in Virginia.
God, that is so ignorant.
Come on now.
You can sing however you want. It's art.
Know what?
It's his song. He can sing it however he wants. He sounds too Southern in the song, so now he's a poser.
Do you know that when people talk and when people sing, they don't always sound the same?
That's true.
I mean, seriously, look at any European band. They all sing English, American accent, English.
Yeah, they right. Yeah, the accent doesn't usually, with rare exceptions, the accent doesn't usually come through.
No, they learn
when someone's singing.
Yeah, when they copy a Metallica song, they try and copy it how Metallica sings it.
Or Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. He sounds like he's British and he's from California, so it can work that way too.
Remember the guy who played House? He could speak perfect English, sounded like he was born in Brooklyn. Yeah. He's European. He's British.
Yeah, of course.
He's actually, when he
Hugh
talks
Laurie.
in his regular voice, he's totally British in his dialect. I think that's stupid. I think that whole thing is just stupid. I think they're just looking for something to latch on to because he didn't turn out to be their boy. He's denied that he's a conservative. He says he's more of a centrist.
Yeah.
He's totally denied that. So he's not playing along with what they want. They're going to find new reasons to hate him. He's a plant. He's talking about diversity. And he was talking about rich people just destroying poor people, doing everything they can to make money and squeeze the money out of the poor people, but, never going back to them. And he literally did say that he was talking about all of those people that were on that debate stage. He literally said,
right,
I am talking about you. So they're ticked now. This was going to be their guy, man, their new champion song, and he's ruining it for them.
Yeah.
So, but it is true. It's one thing that's really gross in politics is that they just don't seem to care about personal property rights. Like they're all about property rights until it's somebody else's song. Like how many musicians have you seen? I couldn't even think of a name to quantify it. How many musicians you hear about complaining so-and-so's used my song in their rally, and I never told them they could.
Right. Yeah, that's happened so much.
A zillion times. Because they never ask for permission. They just do it.
The New York Post has an article. Oliver Anthony is singing for all of us. Hometown salutes Richmond North of Richmond phenomenon. It says, this is a short article. It says here, the men south of Richmond were on a high when viral phenomenon Oliver Anthony made a surprise appearance at a street festival here Saturday night. Anthony's Rich Men North of Richmond is rocketed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, propelling a once unknown songwriter from South Central Virginia onto the national stage. But he's staying close to his roots. All right, I'm going to skip down. I don't care about that part. Okay. Oh, this is more about the show that he did recently.
I mean, I like the guy a bit more after this conversation, I'll say. I like the fact that he's standing up for what he feels and he's not letting other people take it and try and twist it into what they want.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. I'm definitely not okay with the fat shaming and, trying to do the welfare shaming. I think that's
But see,
that's a low blow to be going to, especially if you're trying to talk about the rich men in Richmond. Why are you talking about, those aren't rich men? But
it's also, though, the backlash. See, the backlash to the song now that's happening from the right, it's another example of what I always talk about how we live in this binary political culture where you have to be all the way on one side or all the way on the other, or you just confuse people. Because here's an example of, there shouldn't be any backlash coming from the right. The song has several conservative tropes. So that doesn't mean, so if you're a conservative and you like the song because of that, then you shouldn't be mad at the guy for saying one thing you don't like, or because he doesn't have the accent that you thought that he had, or whatever it is. You can still appreciate the song. You don't have to completely turn on the guy just because you thought you thought he was all the way completely with you, and now you're going, oh, maybe he's not really conservative. Maybe he's more a right-leaning guy or whatever. So, now we have to be upset with him. Like,
tis, Matt, what are you ever thinking?
I mean,
that's not how this works.
It even affects art. It even affects music. You know, this
nastiness that exists.
This polarization.
Didn't used to be that way, but just to watch. I'm looking at another post. This person goes, "Where did Oliver's accent go? Also, why is he saying diversity is our strength? How? That's a bad sentence now. Diversity is a bad word. How dare you?" Oh my, never. We should just take the Statue of Liberty. We should just send up a sandblaster to just sand off the book. Because, we're not, give me you're poor, you're tired, you're hungry, the masses. We're not that melting pot anymore. That's not what people want. Apparently, at least these people. Can we just, this is why we all need to get out and vote and speak up and talk. Because if you don't, they're going to win. And when they win, the everyday Joe loses, in my opinion. I like the guy because he did stand up and say, no, don't take my song. It's not about you. In fact, actually it is about you, but not in a good way.
By the way,
I do like that.
I think the song isn't bad.
It's just the one section.
And his voice. Yeah. A lot of people who came out because, of course, again, you have the polarization. So you had all these conservatives online who championed the song. So, of course, you have also all these people on the left who are condemning the song and condemning him. They're not condemning him anymore, but, condemning the song, but not just the message of the song, but saying, oh, he has no talent and all this terrible stuff. And no, I think he's talented. And I actually like his vocal delivery. I have no problem with any of that.